I told you it would be good.
Yeah.
Let's stick with Gene Ward right now. I'd like to bring up, both of these players. They both have really, really outstanding trainers. So let me bring up the trainer for Andre Ward, Mr. Virgil Hunter.
Great to be here. Glad to be participating in an event like this, as I said yesterday, I've been saying. And glad to see everybody here. I've been here for many fights and see the media room filled for this event. It really makes me feel good. I'd like to thank Peter Nelson and HBO and their staff, family. I'd like to thank Mr. Stern for all he's done, provided. And also like to thank the press, no matter who you choose to win, who you choose to push forward. That's your prerogative, and you most certainly deserve it. I didn't really want to come up too much today. I turned 63 last Wednesday, and it's no secret now that I've worked with youth most of all of my professional career. Last night, I can remember some young men, 13 that I knew, and buried them at 15. I've seen it all. So it does have an emotional effect on me when it comes to young men. And, I realize that even the age of Sergey and Andre, they're young men to me. And watching that my fight and where to endure, it really touched me. And I'm not up here just saying this just to be saying it. It really touched me deeply. And, my heart went out to it. Of course, everybody now knows Andre's background. It's been 8 weeks and a lot of things have come out, and we've chose to keep quiet. That we need to keep quiet because things fly around pretty quick. Everybody in the room, it's always a mystery to what actually is really going on. I had the great pleasure yesterday of doing a ring debate with Coach Jackson. And even though he has sniped me and questioned, my credentials, which he's entitled to, I walked away from that debate with I had disrespect for him, but I had more respect for him. So I was sort of alluding to yesterday that I was troubled by a few things, some things that I had observed in the camp, whether Sergey listens to Coach Jackson or not, when it comes to doing things his way. So imagine getting up this morning and realizing within myself that we heard about the troubles in Russia, how Sergey was overwhelmed with family and friends and things, and selling the tickets and things like that, and it didn't allow him to put on the performance that was expected of him. Although we do have to give Isaac Shalimba a lot of credit with the attitude to come to win. We do have to give him his portion of the credit. I think what disturbs me most is that Coach Jackson didn't get there until the week before the fight. Now, Ms. Doolittle, with all respect, in New York, introduced Coach Jackson as the best trainer in boxing. And I'm trying to figure out in my mind, why would you leave the best trainer in boxing behind until a week before the fight? So maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. But that seems to be the case. And It's not airing out trash, it's leaving questions to be asked. I can't answer it. And if I am wrong, then I'll even feel better about it. As I said yesterday, the respect that I gained from Coach Jackson yesterday, and being in the coaching fraternity is a very difficult fraternity. So I tend to align myself with every coach because it's so tough. So that's the case. Also, and you know, this is real, it's not easy to get out because again, looking at how Sergey lost his dad, man, early. All these things affect you when you're young. You know, I never came up around my real father, and I often wondered, you know, what would I have been? Maybe if he'd have been there. I'm thankful for how things turned out. I had a great stepdad, and he was really the only dad that I knew. And this is a 50-50 fight. But the pay doesn't reflect that. The challenger get a boatload of money. I don't understand that. I think those are some questions that need to be asked. And say, well, you're doing it. No, it's not like that. I'm really torn. Again, until you've been in my shoes and have worked with young men and seen the sufferings of things, you never know. But I don't understand it. Maybe he was fine with it, or maybe it's not true, and that would be the best news I can get. But again, I might just be blowing smoke and rattling. And when I'm saying rattling up here, because it is something that really bothered me. And call me weird or whatever you want to call me. Or later on, if you have to remark on what I've said today, you're entitled to remark the way you want to remark. But if everybody's fine with it, then I'm fine with it. But it did bother me. Getting to the fight, I believe it's going to be a great fight. Believe that Sergey is everything that they say he is. He's a dangerous opponent. He's coming intending to win. We've seen him do things to opponents that when they step in the ring, they shiver. And I think that he carries that persona with him justifiably. So really it's up to us to, dilute that situation. So I'm looking forward to November 19th. And I'd like to see all these, Sergey's 33 now, Andre's 32. Age in boxing where you're looking for your exit strategy. So when you make a remark that there was a time when fighters were courageous and not cynical businessmen, I think that takes us back to the 40s or the 50s. You fight, I'll do your business, and then when you finish fighting, you look up and you don't have no money. But in the meantime, my grandkids going to college in tears. And in the meantime, you can take a bow at the next fight 10 years from now. And everybody tell you how great you were and how they enjoyed your fighting, but you don't have no money. So I encourage all fighters to be cynical businessmen. Don't be a robot. From the foreign countries to get that type of fighter and pay them what you want to pay them. And they should be happy with it. And if that's the case, so be it. But I just encourage them all to be businessmen. And you have a right to be a businessman. In other sports, athletes are businessmen. You're no longer robots. It just saddens me because I came through the civil rights era. I came through all during that time. I'm a very avid historical reader of all the major events that took place in Russia, from Nikita Khrushchev to Stalin to Brezhnev, and the Bay of Pigs, very well. My father was on the USS Ranger, the aircraft carrier. I can remember my mother telling us, you know, it could possibly be a war, you know, a nuclear war. And here you are, 9 years old, 10 years old, and you're hearing that. That's a spooky, spooky thing. So I became very entrenched in Soviet history as a result of that. And I love the Spetsnaz, you know, some of the toughest cats you ever see in your life. And the story of how they developed in war, you know, World War II with Hitler, how they had to go and disarm that big gun that he brought within firing range of the Soviet territory. So it's a lot of historical things. And I'm sorry if I got off track a little bit from the flight. Sometimes when I get emotional about certain things, you know, I can go here and go there. But I would encourage all promoters, you know, treat your fighters fairly. Don't hoodwink them. And don't keep them robots. And don't keep them, encourage them and teach them how to be businessmen. And, you know, if you have a champion, he deserves a champion's ration. Again, hopefully I'm wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Virgil. A gentleman who hasn't heard this word in quite a while in his career. The word is challenger, because the titles are on the line and he's challenging for them. But as we all know, this fight really is about somebody's always got to go. 2 undefeated fighters. This is about who moves up into that position of pound for pound, the best in the world. Only what you're going to get at the end of this fight. So let's bring up the official challenger. Undefeated since he was 13 years old, captured Olympic gold. His record now 30 victories, 15 wins by knockout. 2-time world champion, Andre Ward.
I want to thank everybody that's here today, the media, all my sponsors, obviously, great team that put this fight together, HBO. Man, I was off to the side trying to mind my own business, and Kathy Dewar woke me up. You know, she started talking. I don't know why she keeps doing that, but it's interesting that the ones that are not getting in that ring are the ones that are doing the most talking. They're not feeling those punches. And so she can keep doing what she's doing. You know, I love it. You know, that's what a big promotion is all about. That's what a big fight is all about. We're not supposed to like each other. You know, his side has been doing a lot of talking, and that's fine. We love it. It's okay. It's not our first rodeo. We've been down this road before. We don't always respond right away. And sometimes our silence is misinterpreted as we don't understand and we don't get it. No, we get it. We watch, we take notes. But in the meantime, we keep working. And then we produce come fight night. That's what we specialize in. So all the talking is great. I love it. But know one thing, I'm not taking no mess come Saturday night. I'm gonna be there. Thank you very much.
I told you, honesty is the best policy. Honesty today. But clearly Saturday is going to be an epic night. Ward versus Kovalev is without a doubt going to be the fight of the year in boxing. We all know that. Rock Nation is proud to be part of it. It's in our DNA to promote big global events, and we are honored that after working on this fight for the better part of last year, we have finally arrived. There are a lot of organizations and people that have helped this event, and I'd like to thank all of them. First and foremost, Team Ward, including James Prince, Josh Dubin, who I probably have been on the phone with no less than 10 times a day for the last 100 days. Josh, we appreciate your support. And of course, Virgil Hunter. Peter Nelson and Tony Walker from HBO for bringing this fight to a global audience. Richard Sturm and Sid Greenfeig of MGM, and GM Dan Quinn for hosting.